Right, are we live? Not sure. I'm here now. Oh, this is a ball ache. Technology. Right, well that's doing something now, so I'm assuming I might be on live 10 seconds. Might be here. I'm here.
Got it. You're here. Yay.
Lost 7 minutes. Bugger it. Right, okay. Right, hopefully everybody should be here now. And we should be going live. Right, I think you're going to have to do stuff there. Right, okay then. So, everybody message, let us know you're here. I'm quickly going to run through a few things before we start. We're going to whiz on with it because I've lost a few minutes now because of technical difficulties. For whatever reason, it would not log me on and I totally lost it. That's because I haven't got my little sidekick Josie who normally sorts all that stuff out for me. I'm technically inept. Right, anyway. So we're going to kick it off with a little bit of sad news, actually. If anybody's been baking with us over the last COVID period, 6 months, whatever it is, there was one guy in there who's he's done six of them, I think, buys pies off us, lives up north, great guy, sadly passed away. No age at all, just slightly older than me. It's a bit of a shame, really. But I'd like to do the first shots today just to toast Simon. So if you don't know him, just toast him. There'll be a few on here that do know him. And just really sorry to his family and his wife. It's crap. So we're literally just going to do that quick. I'm going to pass, we've gone sake, Japanese. As we're doing Japanese cheesecake, we've gone sake. There we go. There's one for the wife. To Simon. We miss you, dude.
That's quite pleasant.
Well, that's quite sweet, actually. Plum infused sake.
Oh, Ian Morgan said Linda and Ash are here because I think Ash has been poorly, hasn't she? So she's out of the caravan now.
Alright, cool. Glad to hear that, Ian. Your family have been struggling with the old COVID, whatever, but hopefully that's all going well. Right. So getting a bit professional, even though the start of this wasn't very professional, I have a list of things I need to do. So we've done our shot with Simon. We're also, today, everybody that bakes, go on my Facebook page, post a picture of what you bake, and I'm going to give you, whoever, it's not going to be done on looks or nothing, it's just going to be randomly drawn. You put a picture in, tag us in it, promote our business a little bit, etc., and I'm going to draw one out of the hat, and I'm going to give you a free Pie Man's t-shirt. We've got a mix of sizes, so fingers crossed they fit whoever you are. You get Pie Man Live. This is the Ringer one, with the little bits on there.
Twiggy wants one.
Twiggy wants one. And then we get, you got all the bits and bobs on the back and the bands we cook with. So that's going to be just a free draw. All you got to do to be able to enter is just post up a wiggly jiggly cheesecake, put it on our site, and then I'll enter you in the draw and we pick that one out. Yeah, I've got to make some money out of this, so I'm promoting our pies in the post. If you don't live in Yeovil and you want pies in the post, we can send them through the post. Go on our website, have a look, and I can send you a box of pies to Scotland, to Wales, all this lockdown crap that's coming again. People might need them, so yeah, go and check us out. Give me a shout out, and then we can sort something out for you.
Mark James is wearing his.
He's wearing his, good one, Mark. Pumpkin pie, that's happening next week, so get ready for that one. I'll be putting a little educational video up in the week showing you how to do the pumpkin and stuff prior to that. It is amazing. Everybody turns their nose at a pumpkin pie till they taste it. That's coming. Shot words, fire them over to hell. We'll have 2 or 3 for the shots. One last thing, I'm in a magazine. Hold on. Friends of ours have done a rock magazine, and yours truly has a recipe in it, so you can actually come along and bake with a Pie Man. So there's a recipe in print. Is that back to front? Yeah, no, is it back to front? So yeah, everybody can read it right, can they? So there you go. So you got a Pie Man Live. There's a recipe in there, and everybody that makes that and posts a picture on our Facebook page again. If you get the recipe, buy the magazine, get the recipe, post a picture on our Facebook page, post it on Emerging Rock Band's page, you'll get entered in the draw, and I'm going to give the best looking one. This isn't a free draw. This will be the best looking one that I can take out the pictures, cut a slice, show me the insides, and they're going to get a pie man apron, which is that on a black apron. So
Helen's wearing her apron today. Little Helen.
I've got a few of these in the shop for sale. £4.50 each they are. So if anybody wants it, if you like your rock music, it's all like young bands, new bands, bands that don't get promoted. So you're going to get none of your AC/DC Iron Maiden in there. It's going to be all new bands, like the Rocket Dolls, our guys there. So yeah, I'll be selling a few of them in the shop for them. So if you want one and you want to pick up the recipe, and we've got a Christmas one coming soon as well. We're doing a Christmas pudding, but an alternative one. So not a rubbishy, fruity one. I'm going to do a chocolate one, which is amazing. And I'm going to put Baileys in there as well. Right, quick run through the ingredients, which is on this sheet. Right, hopefully everybody's coming now. Everybody should be here because we're a little bit running late, 22. Right, you should have butter, 7 tablespoons of butter or 100 grams. It is 100 grams of butter. 4 ounces of the Philadelphia cream cheese or other cream cheese is allowed, just as long as it's full fat. You should have 130 of milk, you should have 8 egg yolks, 60 grams of plain flour, 60 grams of cornstarch, hence corn flour, depending on what part of the word you come from, 13 large egg whites, 130 grams of sugar. We should have a kettle on for a bit of hot water. Powdered sugar to go on the top, icing sugar. You don't have to have that, but that comes later. Don't worry about that if you haven't got that. And then we're going to have make a fruit coulis. So you should have some sort of strawberry, and we should have some sort of shotty stuff there. You want to put a bit of rum in it and stuff like that. So hopefully,
I've had no shot words through yet.
no shot words through yet. Come on, this
Come on, Mark
is
James.
because Mark and Josie ain't here.
Ask Ruth Ross.
We're missing
Just watching
Ruth
today.
Ross. Give us a shot word. Nothing Scottish though. Nothing Scottish. We've got to be able to say it. Right, I'm just going to unplug this a sec. I'm going to move you here. Right. As you can see, all my ingredients is there, already weighed out. So you should already have that. Hopefully everybody's there with that. Right, I'm going to quickly run through the tray part as well now, because you should have watched the promotional video or the educational video or whatever. What would we call it? I don't even know what we call it. That video. So, to cook this,
Cheesecake.
we need, can't have cheesecake, we need a tray that's got a bit of a lip so you can put some hot water in. It's got to be big enough to put your tin in. Right, my tin there, is a 10-inch one, and it's one of them ones. It's got no bottoms. You might be lucky and you've got one that's all sealed. If it's all sealed, you don't need to bother with a tin foil lock. I did put this in the video, so everybody should have this done. So to stop the water coming in, because it's going to sit in that pan there, you have to tin foil around the bottom 2 or 3 times, which is what I've done there. So I've waterproofed it. Okay?
Okay, so Ruth has gone with mix for a shot word. Mark has said tin, and I'm going to go egg.
Right, okay, there you go.
So mix, tin and egg.
Right, so now everybody should have 1 tin
Shot.
like that. Okay, can I just stop shotting me for 2 seconds? I have to explain this because it's a very important part of the cake. Otherwise, we're going to have like watery cakes. So, as you can see, you should all have that like that, done up. Greaseproof paper, you should all have that. Cut a circle out. And then you want 2 strips, or if your bits of paper's long enough, you can do it in 1 strip, but most people have to do 2. And they want to be double the size of the tin. Because this cake, when we put it in, it's going to go in there and it's going to rise up to about there. So we need that paper to hold it. Right, so put that down there. Can you see my tin? There's my tin there, yeah.
And I like to do shots now.
Yeah. Right, so 1 bit of paper in there. 1 bit of paper in there. Your middle bit sits in there. You'll find it's a bit floppy. Don't worry about that, because when we put our let's use this way to do this. Yeah. So it's reasonably loose, but when I pour my ingredients in, it's gonna harden it up, kind of thing. It's gonna make it go Yeah, it'll make it fit. I can't explain it until we do it. But basically, if everybody's up to that stage, we should all be out. Right, so if you let me know that part, we should all have tins lined.
Shot.
And you've got a shot. Should have them lined. Double the paper. And a circle of paper in the middle. And then we're ready to start the cake. So let's have some thumbs up. I don't even know how many people are cooking. How many people are cooking? Gives us an idea. Also, so we know who we're waiting for and stuff like that.
So
I think my dad's in house.
Yeah,
Hi, your dad.
is.
Hi, Dad.
Mary's cooking. Oliver Brindley's come in. Geraldine's in.
Japanese lager. Right, we're going to give it about another 2 minutes. Hopefully you're all going to have them tins done.
Shot.
Should have them lined, papered, around the outside, tin foiled.
Charmaine Damon, she's in. She's
Oh, yeah.
cooking. Liz Townsend's pretending to cook.
That plum sake is really good. Let's pop my apron on and then
That was quite nice stuff.
start cooking.
You've got 18.
What, 18 bacon or 18 watching?
No,
Just 18
just-
watching.
yeah.
That'd be good if we had 18 of your bacon. That'd be pretty
Oh,
nice.
Geraldine's, she's watching tonight. She's going to cook. She's going to cook tomorrow. Mark James said we missed 4 shots.
Oh, I've had shots. I've been doing them. Why just get ahead?
Oh, Geraldine thought it was next weekend, but next weekend's pumpkin pie, isn't it?
Yeah. Bit Metallica in the background. It's the only song of theirs I like though. Don't like any of the others. Right, I reckon we should be good to go.
Yeah, no one's saying wait.
No one's saying, right,
and then
okay.
Minty's a bit behind. Oh, Helen said, have we put the oven on yet?
Oh yeah, ovens. Thank you, Helen. That's on my list as well. That's on my list. Right, ovens, 160.
Oh, is it double paper?
Double paper as in tin foil. If you're doing the tin foil, you need to put 2 or 3 layers around because you need to make sure no water gets in. But if it's the parchment paper, just around, do the bottom and then around so everything's in case when we flip them out. So oven's on 160. As you know, that's quite a low temperature. Also, can you take your top shelf out so that you've got a nice big shelf, because this cake does rise. So we don't want to put it on the top like that, otherwise you're just going to get a cake on top of the oven. So we want to go bottom shelf in the oven, but with space to rise. So do that now.
Oliver Brindley said, where's your pie man? Where's your apron, pie man?
Well, I went to put Pie Man apron on. Pie Man apron's dirty. So Pie Man apron's in the wash.
That's why you need a black one.
I need to get a black one, don't I? So I've got my rock and roll apron on. All my bands. Even if I do look a bit like some of that Texas Chainsaw Massacre, put some wellies on. And my cleaver.
160 for fan oven, Mary's saying.
Yeah, 160 Mary, 160. Basically, we're gonna, when we get around to putting this cake in, it's gonna go in the oven for like 20-25 minutes, 160, and then we're gonna drop the temperature down to 140, and then it's like another 55 minutes. So we've got an hour and a half of cooking time, which I'm gonna have to fill, which I've got a couple of ideas we're gonna teach you. So, right, first job. You wanna get yourself a pan. Do not boil this, we just want to melt it so it's a gentle heat. We don't want to have it too hot because we're not trying to boil it. So into that, we're going to take your butter. So you want your butter in the pan. The milk, 130 of milk. And your cream cheese. Which is, can't remember. I'll shout it out to you as well. I'm sorry if I keep repeating everything, but it's easier that way. Cream cheese, 100 grams. That all goes into a pan, and we want to melt this down. But like I say, we don't want it boiling, so use a sort of a gentle ring. Just going to move my out of the way. you there, can't we? That's a good view on it.
Yep.
Right, so we should have this boiling in the pan now. Not boiling, melting. Hopefully you've all separated your eggs. So
Sure.
you've got your egg whites in there and you've got your yolks in there. Them extra yolks, have omelette tomorrow or scrambled egg for breakfast. A bit of bacon. Don't waste them. Don't waste the yolks. I'll have to stop drinking sake or things. I'll have to drink Japanese beer shots as I ain't going to get to the end. This is an hour and a half long then. Right, anybody's got any questions, fire them away, we'll answer as we go along. I've actually put my butter in a block just to help it. I'm just going to cut it up a little bit because it'll just make it melt a bit faster. I mean, realistically I should have done that first off, but... Right, so we should have this melting down. You should all be following along. You should be up to speed with me. And then what we're going to do, when this is nice and melted, we're going to add in our cornstarch, our flour and our eggs. Or egg yolks, not the egg white. Egg whites are separate. You know, the basic thing of this is I've made it once. I've seen it loads of times. I've never tasted it. It tastes amazing. It is really different. But it's just like a giant omelette. It's kind of what we're making, like a massive omelette. But apparently in Japan they literally just serve them straight up out the oven. You eat it warm. You can have it cold. It's not too bad cold. But they'll eat them warm. And I personally think it's going to be better with the sauce. Hence why I've got you all to get a bit of fruit in. But we could vary that. I mean, you don't have to have a fruit sauce. We could have a caramel sauce. You could make a chocolate ganache up to pour over it. But I've kept it simple. I'm going with, I've done strawberries. So we're having strawberry sauce. Right, mine's starting to melt down now. I'm just giving it a stir. Like I say, you don't want to get this hot, so we don't want this boiling up because we don't want to cook them egg yolks in a second.
Sure.
Right. I've still got a little bit of... I'm taking mine off the heat now because you can see that coming up. So it's getting a little bit too hot. So I'm just going to let that melt naturally now. Even though there's a bit of steam, a bit of heat coming up, I can dip my finger in that because it's not too hot, see? So I'm just going to keep stirring that around.
Ian Horgan said, cold omelette. I don't know if I've ever cold omelette.
No, this is, yeah, he's referring to my thing of saying it's like a giant omelette we're making. It is, but I tell you taste it and you're like, oh my god, I've tasted nothing like it. Right, I think I'm kind of there now. I'm just going to grab a whisk. Because I just got a little bit of cheese. Let's just pop it down a bit. I've got just a little bit of cheese in there, so I'm just going to get that mixed in. Right, now you should grab your egg yolks. You should have 8 of them. I've got them in the pan. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drizzle this pan, this milk mix, slowly into this. So give them a little break up. Get your yolks all mixed up. As you can see there, so we're mixing our yolks up there. Right, I'm going to take another one of my tips if you heard it earlier before. When you have a bake-off, just get a cloth, pop it on your chopping board, pop your pan on it, it stops your pan moving, which is great for now when you need that extra pair of hands. Apart from, these are French pans, so I don't know whether you can get this, so I'm right-handed, but the pan's left-handed, isn't it? Look. So there's my right hand, left-handed, and the nozzle's there, so it's like, I've got to kind of go like that to pour it out, unless I want to do left-handed. So basically, I'm whisking my egg yolks up, and I'm slowly adding the mix into here now. Just keep stirring it in.
Geraldine said she's really missed this. Simon's just in now.
And I'm seeing little bits of cheese in mine. Don't worry too much about that because it's all going to be whisked up anyway. So as you can see, I added that in slowly. And now I've got like a yolky, cheesy, milky mix there. Right. Now we want to whisk in the flour and the corn flour. So just pop that into there. Some flour.
Helen said, did I hear you say add flour?
Yeah, add flour, Helen. And add cornstarch or corn flour. So then turn that and then just gently whisk them in. And then we should end up with a nice smooth paste. That's what we're going for there. Is Helen baking? Are you baking, Helen?
Yeah,
I thought you said you wasn't going to.
Oh, yeah, she wasn't, was she?
Or is she just being my...
You.
Yeah, she's... because you're not baking, you're just watching now and you're picking everything up. Right, so I'm just getting all that mixed in like that. And you should end up with a nice paste. Get around the... Whisk up around the sides, get all that flour in there. So it's kind of... Basically what you've got here is like a custard. This is pretty much custard because it's the egg yolks, your milk. The only thing you're missing is the sugar, but the sugar's going in the meringue. So this is what I was saying, it's like an omelette, but or custard and meringue. This is just what it is.
Helen's baking.
Helen's baking, ace. Right, so now as you can see there, I've got like a nice smooth yellow looking custard. Right, so hopefully everybody's up to that stage. Just set that aside now, just let that cool down slightly. You haven't got to worry about anything with that now.
Tell them to shout if they need to catch up or anything.
Anybody needs to catch up, need me to hold back, just let Helen know.
Because I think Simon Murray's literally just started.
Simon's just started. If you just started, Simon, we can catch you up. This is a simple one. Right, so... Oops. Nearly knocked everything off. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to leave it on the oven. Right, so hopefully everybody has popped their milk. I'll go through it all again from the start, especially for Simon if you've dismissed. You should have been melting your milk, cream cheese and butter. Don't boil it. You keep that sort of just melted down so it doesn't overheat because we don't want to cook the egg yolks. You then take that milky, cheesy, buttery mix, pour it into your 8 egg yolks, stir in so we don't cook the egg yolks, mix all that in, then you tip in your 2 flours, your corn flour and your plain flour, whisk that in and you end up with a yellow custard like that. That's set aside to cool. So hopefully everybody's up to date with me there. I don't think I'm going too fast, am I? So now you want a nice big bowl. Biggest bowl you've got really, because you've got 13 egg whites in here we're about to whip up. So that's going to come to the top of the bowl. Okay?
I'm not shouting out shots and counting how many you're saying, right?
Yeah, because everybody needs to hear this part. So you need electric whisk. Hopefully you got electric whisk. Jackie Pang, you asked me if you wanted if you could do it by hand. You could, but it's going to take you a long time. I'm not sure if you're watching Jackie Pang, but if you are, fingers crossed you got a whisk.
Can I just ask you, should it be sloppy or a paste? That's David Lang made.
It's almost like double cream. Like if you look there, if I get a spoon, I'll show you. It's like a thick shake really. So look, you can see there's no whipping in it. The whipping's coming now with the meringue. That's where we add the base to the thing. So it's like a thick custard, a thick shake. So that's what you should be looking at.
Charmaine Damon, hers is quite runny. Yeah, yours is quite runny.
Yeah, mine's runny, Charmaine. Charmaine, not Charmaine, Charmaine. That's her telling me the wrong name, not me. Right, so, whisk. Right, this is the part where we're all going to go offline now because it gets so noisy because you can't hear with whisks.
Can I just say in that bit, 5 shots were said?
5 shots were said in that bit. I'll have a glove then. Actually, I'm quite thirsty. I've been waiting all day for a drink.
Jackie Pang said, hence I asked whether I should start whisking a couple of days ago.
Yes. Right then, so I'm going to move on to the next part now. If anybody's catching up, it doesn't matter because this is going to take like 5 minutes to sort of do it. It'd be a bit quicker for me because I've got a super fan-angled commercial mixer. Right. So basically we want to mix this now to soft peaks. No sugar or nothing yet, just soft peaks. It's going to get noisy, you won't be able to hear me. If you want to ask a question, just shout it out to me, just message it over. Right. See you on the other side. Yes, Charmaine. 13 egg whites in the bowl, whisk them up. No sugar yet. I'll tell you when we do sugar. Oh, is that a shot bowl? Right, I'm going to hold on 2 seconds, let everybody else catch up, because yours probably not as fast as mine. But if you look here, this is soft peaks. You can just see that. I got that. Yeah, I'm not going to do it over my head this time. I've fallen for that once before, but soft peaks, see? That's what we're looking for there. So I'll give you all 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. You can catch up with me.
Apparently it's Paul, not Charmaine, even though it says Charmaine.
Ah, right, you're doing what I'm doing then. So you're doing the cooking and the wife's doing the logistics. Right, so.
You look like you're doing Dusty Bin then, you went.
3, 2, 1. Who remembers Dusty Bin? Over the days, eh? Right, so are we all up to this stage yet? Shouldn't be too far behind. Basically, when you get to this stage here now.
Liz said, Gary, stop bragging about your fast mixer.
Right, my fast mixer's done this, so I'm ahead of everybody else, I think. But what we're going to do now, you should have sugar here, which is, I think, 130. Yeah, 130 sugar. Add this in about 3 bits into this. So pop a little bit in. Give it a whisk. Add a little bit more. And another bit. Have you put your sugar in, Helen? Sprinkling in sugar. You should be adding the sugar in little bits now. Do, I don't know, 3 or 4 little bits, mix it up, and then we end up with a nice meringue. Right, there we go. 13 egg whites whipped up, and 130 grams of sugar mixed in. Now we have meringue. Do I chance it?
Go, 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 go.
Nah,
do it.
It's got a slight bit of movement in there, so I'm not going to chance it. Okay. Anyway, so you can see that's your meringue, so we should all have that now. Right, so that's our two components ready to put this cheesecake together. So now I need everybody to tell me they're up to date with me, and then we'll go through the next stage. If I can have thumbs up from everybody that's baking, and then while you're there, if you just flip your kettle on, get a bit of hot water going.
Your daughter's watching, or both are.
Both daughters. Hello Jess and Liz. And no Liz, I'm not going to do it. Last time I'd done it, it fell on my head. Mind you, that was because I took a spoon out. Did that and the sugar. I was a bit drunk, went like that, and it just went straight on my hat. I was like, oh, so I can't be doing that. Right, so we should have a custody mix. Sugar. Helen, you should be putting 130 sugar, should have gone into your egg whites. And then you should have like a meringue. And everybody should be boiling the kettle now because we're going to need some hot water in about 2 minutes.
Terry said if you were the head chef, you'd chance it. That's Welsh, Terry. And Jackie Pan said, ruin the fun of live baking. There you go. I think they should have a shot for that. Helen's done.
Helen's done, magic. Right, so now we need our tray back. That's if you took yours away.
So Helen's taken mayonnaise, Paul Damon, they all done, Mark James.
Right, I'm just going to let my kettle boil, then I'll be able to talk to you. And I should just give enough time for everybody to turn up. What's the time, love?
It is 9 minutes past 6.
9 minutes past. Wow, we're running late. That's had 10 minutes. I was hoping to get this in by 6 because it is an hour and a half to cook. Hopefully we'll all be done by about 7:45. We should have them flipped out, done, ready to eat. Fingers crossed. Come on, kettle, boil. So meringue, sugar in it, thingy mix. You should have said tray to put your tin in. Now this sounds really weird, but apparently you're supposed to do this. I don't know where it makes no difference. If anybody's scientific, probably they can tell me. But if you put a bit of kitchen paper on the bottom of your tray before you put the water in, it evenly distributes the heat. I don't know, but I'll do it. That's what a Japanese person told me to do. So.
Mark James is whisking by hand.
Whisking by hand, you're going to be a while then, Jamesy. So I'm going to have to carry on. When you get up to speed, I'll go back through it with you. You can message me. I can't even get that in there now. That's doing my head in a little bit. Right.
Hold it.
Pop that there. Yeah, I'll get you on it. Right. What we do now? You take a third of that, mix it into that.
Sure. Oh, Mark's done. Wow. He's mixed it.
Nice one, Mark. Right, so third of your meringue. Pop it in there. Now, whisk gently. We do not want to lose the air in the meringues, so almost stir it in. This is why we don't mix it all in one go, because if you mix it all in one go, we beat all that air out that we've popped in there. As you can see, I'm slowly incorporating that into that.
Okay, so Paul Damon said, what have you missed? Couldn't hear over the whisk.
Right, Paul Damon, you should have meringue mix with sugar in it, like that. You should then have your egg yolky mix, and then you take a third of that, your meringue, into this, and then just gently stir it in. but you want to keep it fluffy. Don't go, as you can see, I'm just stirring that in like that.
As I haven't said, put the kettle on some kitchen paper.
Oh yeah, Paul, did you put the kettle on? Because you should. We need some hot water, so do that. Right, that's a third of that mixed in. It looks nice. I'm going to take the next bit now.
Helen said her meringue's a bit sloppy.
Give it a little bit more of a whisk up then, Helen, because your meringue should be like that, marshmallowy almost. So I'm going to take another third of that, and then I'm going to again whisk that into it. Now you'll notice I'm running out of space in my bowl. So this is why I said we need that big bowl, because the next bit I'm going to tip this into the big bowl to mix the last third in. And when I did this before, I actually ended up with a bit of mix left over, so I made like a quick little one to pop in the side. It all depends on what size tin you've got.
Sharp.
So as you notice now, it's just turning into like some big fluffy omelette-y type looking thing. So I'm stirring that in there. Right, I'm ready now to tip that into there, the last bit. So just tip that in there. You don't want to leave anything in there. So clean that out. Now we're literally just going to incorporate the last bit of the meringue. Just stir that in. Keep that air in there. Don't beat it. Get to the bottom of the bowl and turn everything over. So it's like, if anybody ever done cooking at school, it's the figure of 8 when you do a Genoese sponge. That's what we're looking to do. Anybody remember that, the figure of 8?
Terry Wales said, can you turn that upside down over your head?
This will not turn upside down over my head. I'm not that clever. Right, now you notice, if you look at mine, I just tip that a little bit. I've got some like little, you can see little bits of meringue there, so they just need to be mixed in. But I just want to stir it. I don't want to beat that in, because I want to keep that. So this is all about being gentle. I mean, if you want, I mean, I've changed to a spoon, but I can go back to my whisk, because it'll probably break it down a bit easier. But like I say, you don't want to be whisking, you want to be just using them, the coils and that, just to break up the meringue that's there, so it mixes in. Right, that's going down really nice now. So now I've got like this big, I don't know if you can see that there, it's a nice big fluffy mix now. Right, I'm done. There's mine done. And that's what we should be looking at. Hopefully everybody's got that. So this is when you might need that extra pair of hands from someone.
Just got a thumbs up from Beverly. I didn't realise she was in the house tonight.
Right, so now we have to transfer your said mix
Sharp.
into that bowl there. I will do all the shots in 2 seconds. But this is where we get a little bit of trouble, because you've got this overlap of thing. But what I'm going to show you another little trick now. If you've got it, this is, if you've got it, you've got it. If you haven't, I got where is it? Big mixing bowl there, so I can just pour mine in, creating a little bit more washing up for the wife, but it'll save me ruining it. And
David Langmaid said, how many bananas do we need?
the bananas, that's Murray. Ask Murray, he's the banana guy. I should actually trick him one day and do something with bananas, shouldn't I?
Yeah, you won't have him, will you?
Nah. Right, so now, this is where I'm saying, now I'm going to just pour this in here. If you start off in the centre, and then gradually it'll find its way in your tin, and it'll pull the paper back, and then the paper becomes easy to do then.
You are.
Right, I'm going, this mix has taken me, I'm going about I'm about that much below the edge of the tin. Now I'm going to risk it, I'm putting it all in, I'm going to the... I think that'll be alright. Right, so if I lift this up now, you should be able to see. So you can see that's reasonably high compared to my tin. I'm about an inch off at the top of the tin. Literally, I'm about that much. I'm up to, my mix is up to about there. So, hence this is going to help us, because in a minute this is going to come up, it's going to come that high, it's going to come up to there. Right, if you've got a smaller tin, this is where you might struggle a little bit, or you might have a bit of mix left over. I've got no mix, all mine's in there. But if you had an 8-inch tin, when I did this recipe with the 8-inch tin, I had a little bit left over. So all you need to do is just dig yourself out another little tin or a little ramekin pot. You can just pop one in there, and then you just have like a little sample on the side. You know, you don't need to waste it. Or if you've got, what I did was when I did the 8-inch tin, I got one of these like casserole dishes, and I quickly put a bit of paper around and just plonked it in there and put it on the side of my thing, and that used up the extra mix. So if you've got that, anything could do it. It doesn't matter, because as long as you get the main one out, that's all that counts. Right, so cheesecake mix in the pan that should be lined with tin foil, should be lined with paper. You should have said tray that's got a lip, and if you haven't got kitchen paper, don't worry about it. Now, hot water, you're going to fill the bottom of the tray. You want about an inch, 2 inches of water. So depending on how big your tray is. So I've got, on mine, I've got about that much water there. And then we need to pop that in the oven. Now you need to note your times, but go careful, because now we've got hot water putting this in. So if you're going to put the hot water in, try and do it near your oven. So some people have fancy ovens where you can pull a tray out and do it on the tray. But I've not got a fancy oven, so this is the bit you need to be careful at now, because also your tray is going to contract heat now because you just put hot water in it. So gently take it down, pop it in the oven. And I made the error of not putting the trays in right, so I'm going to have to mess around now. There's me telling everybody to do that, and I didn't do it myself. So, back out. Hot tray there. Start again, back in the oven. Gently does it. You don't want to be spilling any of that water anywhere. So I say, if you've got one of them great ovens where the tray comes out and it's nice and stable. Right, there we go. That's in the oven.
Sarah Crawford's just watching. It's her and Dave's 20 quid.
Happy 20 years married to Dave. You deserve a medal. Right, so hopefully everybody's up to where I was.
Yeah, you can have a shot.
I can have a shot now. I'll mode a
You're
few.
in like 10, I think.
10. Right, so quick recap. We should have taken your meringue, a third, mixed it into the eggy mix, another
shots.
third into the eggy mix,
Shot.
back in the other way, mix it totally up. Don't beat the air out, because we're looking to keep it. Just gently stir.
How long in the oven, said Mark?
Whisk. We'll be getting to that in a second. Just note the times you put it in the oven. What's our
Note the
time?
time down, yeah.
What's our time?
Oh, okay, 6:21, so 6:22.
Right, so we get to the meringue part. You've done all that. You
How
boiled
much
your
water in the
kettle.
tray? Charmaine's just asked.
About, and it depends on the size of your tray, but you want about an inch of water. So if you've got a smaller tray, you ain't going to want as much water, are you? But it is about an inch to 2 inches. If you don't, obviously you don't want it like like that. We just want that, and that creates, I'll explain in a second what it's doing. So we should have had your tray, paper towels on the bottom, water in it, your tin in it, lined, tin foiled, tipped your mix in the oven at 160 for 25 minutes.
Yeah, Mark, 25 minutes.
25 minutes in the oven. The reason why we have the water in there, and if any of you cooks out there notice, we're cooking on a very low temperature, 160, which is going to be turned down to 140, and which is almost getting down towards meringue temperatures. But because of the meringue part, because it's light and fluffy, if you baked it, it just doesn't work. So we're creating like a steam oven, hence the water in there. So it cooks gentle. If you've done egg custards, if you do cream caramels, you always pop them in like what they call a mini bain-marie, because the steam helps cook it rather than the direct heat of the oven. We're using the steam and the underneath heat to cook it, and cook it lightly. So anything you want to cook lightly is always cooked like that. So that's what we're basically doing. You're creating a steam oven. So get yourselves tidied down. Any questions, give me a shout. I'm just going to have a quick tidy down here, and then we'll get on with the Kool-Aid part next. I'll show you how to make a nice sort of sauce to go with it. I don't need any washed up, but we'll have get ourselves tidied down. Fire away any questions.
Yeah, how many people are cooking? So I know Dana, not Dana, not Dana. Hello. Is your dad cooking live with you? Or just
I think Dad was cooking.
Okay.
Right, so what do I want? 17 minutes timer.
I don't know Minty if he's gone quiet on here, so he's probably trying to catch
Minty, if you need some things now, because I'm done, mine's in the oven, I've got plenty of time to catch you up. So fire away the questions, we'll get you caught up. You might just miss the end bit, you'll have to do that bit on your own. How do I set a timer? I'm so used to having 9, you even got Siri, haven't I?
So what time is it you went?
20 past, so we want 22. Everybody make note of your times as well, so 20 minutes.
So Mark's asking when you turn it down to 140.
I will tell you, 20 minutes time, so give it, depending on how hot your oven is, my oven's struggles to get down to low temperatures, so I'm giving mine 20 minutes and then I'm turning it down, but the actual recipe says 25. So if you've got a pretty fandangled good oven that holds a good temperature, you can give it the 25 minutes and then turn it down, but I'm going 20. It isn't going to make too much odds, because what this part's doing is browning the top, and then we're going to drop it right down to 140 for 55 minutes. And if anybody you notice, 20 minutes and 55 minutes is a long time. So we need to do some filling, don't we? We're going to make the Kool-Aid. I'm going to show you that. That's going to take about 20 minutes. Now I'm going to show everybody how to make triple cooked chips. It's a pain in the arse to make, and it takes a couple of days to do. They're like the best chips ever. So I've put some in yesterday. There's 3 stages to it. I'll go through it in a minute, and I've kind of simplified it down. I've put all 3 stages together so I can show you how to do triple cooked chips. And trust me, if you're having a special meal, it is well worth doing. They're like the best chips out there. It is just like no other chip you ever tasted. They're really cool, and it's simple to do. It's just a matter of preparation, that's all.
Apart from seaside chips.
No, better than seaside chips. Right, so strawberry coulis next. So let's get ourselves cleared down. If you're like me, you might have a total mess everywhere, so you need to get sorted and need a bit of space. Any questions, fire them over. I mean, to be fair, it's a pretty simple sort of recipe, wasn't it? It literally was just popping it all together and doing it. The fun part comes is when it's about this high, and we got to tip it out onto our hand when it's hot to get it out of the tin, and then tip it back, and it just wiggles like that. It is good. That's the fun part. That's when people can drop it and stuff like that. It's all pretty quiet. Nobody's messaging in, so I'm assuming everybody's getting pretty good at this cooking lark.
How long in the oven? Paul Damon?
Paul Damon, 20 minutes. 160, and then it gets turned down to 140 for another 55 minutes.
Paul Damon said I've made hell of a mess. Why is it? Oh, well, they're for the...
Yeah,
yours is not much better, is it? Look at that.
Yeah, mine's all right. It's just all in the sink.
I suppose you use quite a few bowls, don't you?
Yeah. Hey up, Mary. Daughter's on.
She said not to tell you, but she's done something with custard powder.
Custard powder? No, what custard? What?
I don't know, she messaged me. I was like, saw it come across.
There's no
the
custard
screen.
powder in there, Mary. What are you doing? Bloody daughter, just making it up.
She said she's used 10 bowls, Mary has.
10 bowls. I've used lots of bowls because I weigh everything out to make it easier. Normally, when I'm doing things like this on my own, I just whack it in. Sometimes I don't even weigh stuff out. It's just like, oh, that looks like I can get away with it. But being as I'm doing this and I've got to look a little bit professional, I kind of weigh everything out. So that takes a lot of bowls up. But yeah, you should only use the pan and then 2 big bowls.
Ian Corbin said, how long does the cake take?
Ian, so in the oven, 160 with the water base, the paper, etc. and everything, 20 minutes, and then turn it down to 140 for 55 minutes. It sounds like everybody's starting to catch up. When everybody's got it in the oven and you've had a little tidy down, we'll crack on with next stuff.
So Mary's put corn flour, so I wonder if she used custard powder instead of corn flour. I don't know. That's what I missed.
I mean, basically, the original recipe that we made was, it is kind of custard because there's corn flour in custard, the egg yolks, the sugar. It's just how you make crème anglaise. This is like one of the most ever totally organised ones going, isn't it? I feel reasonably sober.
It's probably because Mark's not.
It's in the oven. I'm not getting heckled by Mark.
Yeah, and Toy.
And Toya.
And Josie.
And Josie. All the noisy ones in there.
And Helen's cooking now, so she's probably concentrating.
Oh yeah, Helen's concentrating because she's cooking. I don't know whether this.
Really quiet.
I don't know whether this will freeze down Helen though, because it's quite light and fluffy. Minty, where are you, Minty? Give us a wave. Ooh. Left the laptop unplugged. Better plug that back in, and
Jackie just put a picture of the beer up.
I'll look later, Jackie. I can't see now because I'm on the live bit.
Oh, she's just doing cheers.
Ah. Right, we should all kind of be there now. I think most people should have them in the oven. Just keep an eye on your times. Keep an eye on them temperatures because, like I say, it is a low cooker. It is a 160 and downwards. Next, we're going to crack on with the Kool-Aid now. I don't know what everybody's got. Like I said before, the original sort of Japanese recipe, they literally just serve this cake as it is. But I felt personally it just needed a bit more to it, a bit more of that. Sonia's watching, are you? Hiya, Sonia. Yeah, so we just need to vamp it up a little bit. So we're going with like a fruit sauce. Back in my chef days, we called it fancy names like Kool-Aids and that, but namby-pamby stuff, you know. Right, let's get my tray out of the way because it's messed that up. So, I've gone with strawberries. Basically, I'm just going to chop some strawberries up, chuck them in a pan, put a shot of something in there. I'm going to go and delve in there and see what it got. Rum, be quite nice. You can have a bit of whiskey. Don't do too much. You want just a shot.
Got some pins in there.
No, I'm going Pims. Better off with a stronger shot. And then a touch of sugar. And then you're just going to boil this down and then pass it for a sieve. And then we end up with like a nice fruit sauce. And we get that in the fridge cooling down. If you could do it with blackberries. If you've got frozen fruit, which I know Mark's got, don't just add a shot and a bit of thing. You will have a bit more water in yours, Mark. You can keep it whole with the fruit if you want. You can make a sauce and keep your fruit whole. or you can pass it through a sieve and then end up with a nice, because I'm assuming if you've got frozen, you've probably got like fruits of the forest or something. It's totally up to you. Doesn't matter, but what you do need to do is just create a little bit of sauce in there somehow. Hence the sugar boiling down will like reduce it a bit. Right, so let's get going with that. So I'm going to grab the serving pan, knife. Like I said, don't have to be too fancy with this. We're literally just going to melt this down. So I'm just going to chop. You can't really see there. I've got too much pan on it.
Yeah, Mark's got fruit and forest.
Yeah, fruits of the forest, Mark. So you need to decide: do you want to keep your fruits whole so you see all the fruits? If you do, not a problem. I mean, with the strawberries, I'm just cutting the strawberries like that. I'm just going to pop them in there. You can keep the strawberries whole. But what I'm going to do is pass it through a sieve, so I end up with just the pure sort of juice.
Say hi to Heidi.
Hiya, Heidi. Do you know what? I got this massive knife like this and that, and I nearly cut my finger down. I literally just went down the nail a bit. Why I'm not just doing something simple and getting a little knife? That'd have been fun, wouldn't it? Cutting it off, cut my finger off, got to hold it, live TV while I put my finger back on. Cutting strawberries. Right, so basically dice your strawberries up, slice them up, whatever. You could have blueberries, raspberries. Like I say, it's your choice of what fruit you want, and it's your choice whether you want a smooth sauce at the end or you want to keep it with the bits in.
Bananas?
I can show you both. Bananas won't work, Minty. You could do a caramel sauce, so you could have a caramel cheesecake, you could do a chocolate sauce, you could have just straightforward pouring cream on it. Blueberries, you could do a blueberry sauce. We need a bit of something with them though, because they do have, they lack a bit of taste, blueberries.
Can I just show you the picture?
Show me the picture. Far away.
Minty, he's got a dirty apron.
Yeah. Nice apron, Minty. Like your apron. Right, time check. Are we on for another 6 minutes, and then I'm going to be turning my oven down. Resist the urge to look in there for the moment. Unless you've got a glass door, then you can. Right, so I've chopped all my strawberries up there. I'm just going to take a handful of sugar, literally 2 tablespoons, something like that. Just pop a bit of that in there. That's in there. I'm going to pop that on the heat now. You can put this on a reasonably high heat because we want it to boil up a bit. Take your wooden spoon, and this is where you pop a shot in. I'm going to go and find a shot. I could put my plum sake in, but I don't really fancy doing that because I'm enjoying drinking that.
Say hi to Charlie, just watching.
Charlie Farley?
No, Charlie Power.
Charlie Power? Right, so I've got my fruit. You could have your strawberries, etc., whatever you got. Mark, you got your frozen, so you can get yours on. Pop a little bit of sugar in, it just helps sweeten it down, especially if you've got fruits of the forest, because there's a lot of bitter ones in there. Tequila. There we go. We're having tequila. We're having tequila shots. We're going to go and get it. 2 seconds.
Yes, behind the. Do you want me to get it? Behind the rums, the my fingers. No.
No. Right, I'm just going to show you. Right? I said to my wife, where's the tequila? She said it's behind the dead man's fingers rum. And that doesn't really help. Because there's about 10 of them along there.
There's 9, I need the 10th one.
Right, so let's find the tequila. Not that we're alcoholics on nothing. That said, I do have some cannabis gin. Oh, it's amazing. What's the tequila look like? I can't see it.
Find it. You're nearly there, keep going.
I can't see. Oh, I'll let her get it. I can't. Behind the dead man's fingers. Jesus. I can't find it. You'll have to go and get it, love.
Okay. I've seen you looking.
Oh, of course, yeah, you're watching me do it. Yeah. I didn't see it. Anyway, so we're having tequila in ours, so I don't know what everybody else is putting in theirs. Everyone a shot. Right, I must be down for my turning down period. No, another 4 minutes.
It was on the shelf underneath.
It was underneath, so she lied to me. It wasn't even there. Right, so we're going to go a shot of tequila in there. Right, so fruit's in there, bit of sugar, your shot. You don't have to have a shot. If you're feeding the kids, don't put the alcohol in, just leave that out. But, you know, just adds a nice bit to it. And now we just need to wait about 5 minutes for that to sort of boil down. Right, everybody sort of in the oven now. Nobody's asked me questions, are they? So I'm assuming everybody's all up together.
No, she's lost her taste.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
So when we get to it in a second, I'm about 5 minutes actually, not a second. So that's going to boil down and go all nice and soft. Now you could literally just put that in the fridge, let that cool down, and then you could just pour that over your slices of your wiggly cheesecake. Or you can pass it through a sieve, we get a little spoon and we push it through, and we'll end up with a nice smooth sauce at the end. And then I'm going to do a little bit of feathering in there. To show you how you can fancy out. If you wanted to use this for a dinner party and impress people, do a little bit of a strawberry coulis feathered, and then I'm going to cut a slice on it and show you. So if you want to impress people, but to be fair, you can just chuck that straight on the table with a pot of this, and that's going to impress them because it's pretty damn cool. You can have this on quite a high heat as well, so don't worry about being too hot. I'm turning mine up to the faster one. Right. So in a second I'm going to be turning my oven down. People should be getting towards it. Another 2 minutes, yeah? If you've got glass doors, how's it looking? Nothing's leaked out yet.
What have you put in with the fruit? That's from Paul Damon.
I put tequila in mine, so you want your fruit. Couple of tablespoons of sugar, because the sugar helps caramelise it and gives you that saucy bit. And if you want a shot, put a shot in. If you don't. But you can put rum in there, works. I mean, if you fancy and you've got all the cocktails and stuff, you've got Kirsch and stuff like that. Kirsch goes in it brilliant. That's what we used to use when I was a chef. But you can pop whatever you want in. We went with tequila. I'm not even sure tequila's going to work in it, but it sounded good, isn't it? Giving them a little bash down. Right, so in a second, I'm just going to get this done first rather than confusing everybody. We'll get our sauces all done. And then I'll go through the triple cooked chips. What I'll do is I'll post how to do it up. Like a recipe. It's not really a recipe, is it? Because it's only like oil and potatoes.
It's the stages, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll post up the method on how you do it. But what I'll do is I'll show you it and then you can just go back on and watch. You know, pick out what time we're starting, what we're a minute 30 in, look at that.
How do you think?
Have I got to turn down? Right,
Yeah.
I've been in 20 minutes, so I'm turning mine down to 140 now. But if you've got a good oven, just give yourself 25 minutes. But my oven's...
You just do it, you don't look at it, you just do it.
No, just turn them down.
Paul Damon's keeping his kid friendly.
Kid friendly, very wise.
Oh, Ian Horton's gone for pork.
Port, yeah, port, very good.
Yum, yum, yum.
Right, so I've turned my oven down to 140 now. Now I'm going to make a note of the time. I need 55 minutes.
55.
So that takes me to 7:25. No, 7:35. Yeah, that's it, see. This is it. I mean, if people, well, I'll do the triple cooked chips in a minute. If people want to log off and then come back on when they're coming out of the oven, or just sit and watch me randomly, can we do something? What else can we do? Mind you, the triple cooked chips will take half hour up.
Get everyone to run around their house and spell their name out of food.
Yeah. Do that as a prize.
Val Woolsey said, are you going to do a cookbook?
Do you know what? A few people have asked me. I don't know. It's a lot of work, but maybe. I mean, it's not really a cookbook though, is it? It's just random.
You could do a pamphlet.
Yeah, it's just random, throw it together things, just so you can remember these recipes.
I bet people like that for Christmas.
Yeah, perhaps we'll look into it.
But remind everyone about pumpkin next week.
Oh yeah, pumpkin pies next week. If you want to do pumpkin pies,
They've got pumpkins in Lidl for 99p.
you want little pumpkins though. Don't get these big ass things. That's for carving and whatever. When we do, we want sweet pumpkins because that's what you have in a pumpkin pie. So the smaller they are, the better. I think they do like peanut pumpkins and sweet pumpkins and apple pumpkins. There's a lot of different names. You can research it and find them. Right. So now, just turn that down. Right. So now I've got my stewed fruit. As you can see, we've got the tequila in there, the strawberries. Now you could just pop that straight in the fridge. Not a problem. That can go straight in the fridge and just let that cool down, and you can have all your juices, all your bits of fruit on there when we pour it over later. We need to cool it down because it'd be better cold. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass it through a sieve and I'm going to make a strawberry Kool-Aid. So you take a sieve and then you want a bowl for it to go into. And then you just take you have a bowl there, sieve in there, take your mix, go careful, it's hot. And then you pour that in there. Grab yourself a metal spoon and then basically just use the back of the spoon and push it through the sieve.
Oh, David Langmaid's doing banana Kool-Aid.
Yeah. If you are, I'll be interested to know if it works.
Because of minty.
Or you can liquidize this down. You know, if you want to put it in liquidize, just place it up. That works as well.
Banana Kool-Aid would be nice. Put a bit of chocolate as well. And the colour. Mark said short. I don't know when he said that. I'm missing out on the shots. I usually have the other Mark be up to date.
Yeah. Right, so you're either liquidizing this, you're pushing it through the sieve, or you're just keeping your fruits whole. So don't get me wrong, keep your fruits whole. If I wasn't going to show you a fancy way, I'd probably just keep my fruits whole because I just feel like it's a bit of a waste just doing that. I mean, if I want a strawberry, I want to eat a strawberry. But I'm just giving you a few different options here. If this was me, I wouldn't be doing this now. Too much faffing around.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I'm just trying to give you different variations on different things. Right, so now I've ended up with so you can see I've got a nice strawberry sauce there now, and it's reasonable thickness. It's a bit like a soup texture. To be fair, there's not too much there, so. And then you've got.
You made a mess.
Yeah, I made a mess. You've got your strawberries there. I mean, you could actually just save that and put it on some toast in the morning. It's kind of jam, and it seems a shame to throw it out.
Or your porridge.
Yeah, or your porridge. Yeah, porridge, yeah. I mean, don't throw it out, it's a waste. But that's why I'm not really a fan of like liquidising, or I'd liquidise it and it all goes in there, but then you get bits in the sauce. But I prefer just to keep them whole. But like I said, I'm trying to show you different ways, fancier ways if you want to impress someone. Right, so I'm going to keep that and I'm going to have that tomorrow for my cereals.
Or buy one of those little Tupperware things behind the sugar.
Yeah, because I'm not wasting that. It's too good to waste fresh strawberries. Make sure you scrape the bottom of the sieve as well if you're sieving, because you get a few bits, you get a spoonful on there, see? Right, so take your sauce, just pop that in the fridge now, let that cool down.
Mark said, put it on your scrambled eggs with your egg yolks. No way. Perhaps you wanted 2 shots there.
Yeah.
On your scrambled egg with your egg yolks.
So I've kept me pulp. That's going in my porridge tomorrow. Or on my toast, whichever one. Right, so hopefully everybody's got a nice little sauce. You're in the middle of mixing it up, doing whatever you want to do with it, and you popped it in the fridge. If you are doing banana, the only thing I'd worry about that is it might discolour a bit. Because bananas do have a habit of...
What about you put syrup in? Would that stop it from...
yeah, I mean, you could literally blast your bananas up. What could you do if you was putting... I mean, don't get me wrong, bananas would be quite nice on it, but I would have probably have sliced my bananas on it. And then maybe put a bit of caramel sauce with it and turn it into like a banoffee cheesecake. That would work. You could sort of decorate it out with that. But there's various options you can do with this. Right, anyway, so any questions, fire away. If not, I'm going to show you how we do triple cooked chips now. Right, so...
Why then?
Well, no, just watch. Watch and learn.
I was just thinking you might need the other oven on.
No. Right, so you want a small pan. Fill it with some water and get it boiling. When you're doing these chips, you can't cook loads. So like when your mum used to just shove them in like that, don't work with these. You've got to do them in smaller batches. But the beauty of these is there's 3 stages. We have a boil stage, we have a part fry stage, we have a full cook stage, hence your 3 cooked triple chips. Now in between each stage, they've got to go in the freezer to be frozen down. So first off, we'll do stage 1 first. So take your potatoes, Mary's Pipers are good potatoes forever, whatever you like for your chippy sort of potatoes, give them a peel. Right, again, if you want to be fancy, we trim it all back, stuff like that, but you know, I'm not too fussed with that. As long as they're all the same thickness, that's what you're looking for. Lengthwise doesn't matter, it's all about thick. There's a euphemism if I ever heard one. Length doesn't matter, it's just how thick it is. Wife wasn't even listening to that one.
I always used to say something. David Langmead said,
right.
Banana fritters and curried sauce.
So 1 potato peeled. What I normally do, if you've got that sort of size, like the size of my hand, I'm going to cut it into 3 there. So 3 bits like that. As you can see, you got nice sort of, and then I'm just going to cut them in half again.
Liz said length does matter.
Yeah. Right, so out of 1 potato I got 6 chips. Now people have thinner chips. You don't want thin chips with this because of the process of doing everything. So you want nice thick, as you can see, even though they're different lengths, they're the same thickness. Okay? And you don't want to overfill your pan. Now you pop them in to your pan that's starting to get hot, so I'm going to pop my potatoes straight in with a pinch of salt.
That's like a top right.
A pinch of salt in there. I might just do another potato. So as you can see, I'm only going to get 2 potatoes in a pan. But the beauty of these, if you're doing them, you've got a few people coming around, you can get them all ready. You can get stage 1, stage 2 done in the freezer, ready to just pop in the fryer, and then you can have them in like 5 minutes.
Mark James said, what spud did you use? What type?
I got Mary's Pipers, but you can get the kid. What's the red ones? Albert Jobs. They're all right for it.
Ready?
It's whatever. Yeah. But don't use white potatoes, because white potatoes are literally just like odds and sods and stuff like that. You're better off using a named potato, but they normally tell you on the packets that are good ones. I don't know them all because there's lots. Right, again, you can see I've cut them nice and thick and chunky into there.
Mark said roosters are red.
Yeah, oh yeah, they do them as well, yeah. Right, so I've done 2 potatoes in there. Now the key to this is, do not boil them. Right, you salt them, you get that water coming up to the boil, you turn it right down and we let the potatoes just cook in there without boiling. If you boil them, all of that just breaks them up and ruins them. Now we want to try and cook these to about 60 to 70%. But you cook it by just leaving them in the hot water. I'll show you. Once I get up to the boil, let's get it on the faster gas. So once they get to the boil, you turn it down and you literally simmer the potatoes. And it only takes about 5 minutes. And then, actually, let's get that go in there. Is everybody keeping an eye on their times? You should all be past the first 20-minute time now, aren't you? And we should be on to the 55-minute time. So you should all be doing sort of that. We should all have our sauces be done now, and you should have them in the fridge. Fingers crossed. That's if you're doing sauces. You don't need a sauce with this. Right, come on, spuds. But anyway, so the first process with the triple cooked chips is cutting them nice, thick, chunky like that, in a pan of water, bit of salt, bring it to the boil, simmer. Takes about 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, and you want a 70% cooking. There's a lot of fanning around with this. Because when they come out, we've got to pat them dry individually. So that's where we have a bit more paper. What I'm not going to do is, because I've already got stages 2 and 3 ready, I'm not going to go on to them until them ones come out. I'm showing you the first stage and I can go straight into the second stage. But if I show it in between, we go back and forth, it'll be a nightmare. But, so I started these last night and then I finished them this morning. So you need like a 2-day period or 3-day period. Basically, boil them one day, pop them in the freezer, you let them firm up, then we like pop them into some oil and then we like part bake them, or part fry them, sorry, and then take them out before they start colouring, and then they get frozen again. And then for the final one, you turn the heat up full, you get a proper fryer going, chuck them in, 10 minutes later, or when they're golden crispy brown, you get these amazing crunchy chips. Nothing like it. But like I say, these stages, because they go in the freezer, you could get stages 1 and 2 done and just have them all lined up in the freezer, but you have to lie them out flat as well. You can't just chuck them all together and throw them in. They've got to lie out flat, so you need a big freezer, or hence why we also can't put like 10 potatoes, cut them up, put them in a pan, because all what happen is when they come out of that pan in a second, they'll all just broke up. So you have to cook them in small batches. But trust me, it is well worth doing it. Right, I'm gonna have a little peek. How long have I been in? 50, I've been in half hour. I'm gonna chance a little peek just to make sure we're going all right. Fingers crossed. It's looking good, but I look like I'm lacking a bit of water, so I'm actually gonna just pop a little bit more water in.
So should you keep water in there all the time?
Well, the first time I did it, the water didn't disappear. But my oven, when I opened him straight off, he was a little bit warm, so I think that's probably not helped me, because I've not got the best oven to do this. So I'm just going to pop a little bit more water in there.
Say hi to your mum. She's tuned in late because they were running late for their tea.
Hiya, Mum. So I'm just putting a little dash more water, but rather than take the whole thing out, I'm going to open the oven door quickly, and I've just got a bit of water there. I'm just going to pop in. There you go. That didn't need a lot. Right, if we look here, let's take this out. Potatoes are boiling. We don't want that. So now I'm going to turn them down. Ooh. Put them on a very low heat. Right, let's get them cooling down. Right, so I've turned my heat right down now. So now you can see that's literally just what I'd call trickle bubbling, yeah? That's what we need to do. So I keep going in front of the screen here because I keep unplugging the laptop to show you. There we go, I've got to keep it topped up. Right, so now that literally is I just got 1 or 2 bubbles coming up now. I'm going to leave that for about 4 or 5 minutes. So if you feel them now, already they're 30% cooked. But if you had that ferocious bubbling, it'd just be that and they'd be moving around, you know, with mashed potato. Right, everybody all cool? Everybody just had a little peek of theirs like I just did? Hopefully you've all got your times correct. And sauces. What sauces was it?
Mark had Forrest with fruit. David Langmaid had banana.
I'm not sure if I believe you, David Langmaid.
Oh no, I think you did.
You do have banana, do you?
I think so.
Really be interested in that.
I don't know what Corrigan's doing. Damon, I don't know what he's doing.
Mr. Paul Damon, what was you doing? I know you were doing a non-alcoholic version. I would say what you're doing, Dad, but you never
No,
you don't know how to post on it to tell me, do you?
Well, he's probably cooking, so
Yeah.
you need to get
I'll ask you tomorrow. I'll give you a bell tomorrow. Mary, how are you doing, Mary? You all right? What about Helen? Actually, we've got a few people cooking, haven't we?
Yeah, I'm not sure what Helen's doing for her fruits.
See, them potatoes just trickling away now. See what I mean? Look, I'm doing these potatoes now, and I'm just waiting for that stage now. And this is why they are a proper bind to do. But, like I say, you get that stage done, you get them into the freezer. Tomorrow you would do the next stage.
Ooh, Mary's doing blueberry and blackcurrant.
Oh yeah, I like some of that. Yeah, the blueberries, I love blueberries, but they have a very distinct lack of taste.
Dad said still watching.
Dad's still watching here.
Paul Damon's doing strawberry.
Strawberry, yeah, we like strawberry.
Ian's doing mixed fruit with port.
Oh yeah, port, yeah.
Port.
I like port. I do like a glass of port. Have
So
you ever
what's
tried a
Helen
shot of port in a Guinness?
Yeah, that's nice.
And what's the other one we used to have?
Oh no, the
Cheeky Vimto.
Yeah, cheeky Vimto. WKD.
WKD, which I never drink any of that rubbishy purple, blue stuff, whatever. But if you put port with that, oh my god, it's proper good. Let's check my potatoes. To be fair, because I'm up with the stage, I should really speed this on rather than messing around like this. It should be like a professional chef, shouldn't I? We've already got one ready. So, drain your potatoes off. Once your potatoes are 70% cooked,
Mary's lost her cassis.
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 So you stick your finger in, you test them, 70% cooked, turn them off, drain them, grab yourself a plate, some kitchen paper, and literally take them out one by one. Now you've got to be very careful you don't break them because they do get a bit delicate. Put them on your paper. Can we see what I'm doing there? There we go. So I'm taking these out very delicate, putting them on the paper, and then you've got to dry them. The reason you freeze them down is it gets rid of the moisture. Because moisture's the thing. If you think about it, moisture's steam. How do you get crispy chips if you've got water in the way? So we're basically, this process is taking the water out. Take a second sheet and then just pat it down. You don't need to season them now. You could do, I suppose, but I like my seasoning on the outside of the chip once it's crispy.
Oh, Helen's done strawberries, raspberries and blueberries.
Just going for it. Right, so now I've patted them dry. So now you can see how spaced out they are, how nice they are, all lined up, and now that goes in the freezer. So you just pop that in the freezer and then leave it for 2 or 3 hours or overnight, because this is, like I say, you can start making these. So that'll be 2 or 3 hours in the freezer minimum, or overnight preferably. So do that. And also, that doesn't look like a lot, so hence you would stick a load more chips in that pan, do it again, probably do this process 3 times. Don't make the mistake of putting this all in a big pan, trying to do it all in one go. Won't work, these will turn horrible. So,
Ian's actually drinking cheeky then today. Yeah. Here they are.
and here's some we prepared earlier. I feel like a TV chef now. So there they are. Oh, now they're stuck to that. Right, there we go. So I've got my frozen potatoes that have been boiled. So all the moisture's been sort of zapped out, because that's basically what freezing does. Freezing takes out all the moisture. So now you take a frying pan, or I have a little fancy skillety type pan there. So I've put that on, and you want to get that to about, I guess it, but you're supposed to have it to 130. You're frying on about 180 is like your full fat fry going, but you want to get this to about 130. I thought I turned it on and it had gone off, so we're gonna have to wait a couple of seconds. Get that heating up.
Yeah, sometimes when you turn it down, it goes off.
Yeah, my cooker's, you turn it too low and it just goes off. I put it on 5 minutes ago and it's gone off, so we're gonna have to wait for that to heat up. So basically, you've got your chips out of the freezer, and you see what I mean? When they're at this stage, you can pile these up now because they're, because they're frozen. So you can have like a, your whatever you need, you can get them there. And then them are going to go into your oil, which
What
is
sort
there.
of oil?
I use rapeseed oil. But you can have sunflower oil. Don't use lard. Lard's too whatever. But yeah, don't use olive oil either. You want to pretty much use a vegetable oil because they have a higher flash point, which means you can boil them. The flash point, butter's got a low flash point. Because if you think about it, when you cook with butter, you burn it all the time. How often do you cook? How often do you burn with oil? You can heat oil because it takes extreme temperatures, which is the flash point. It just means that certain oils have they can reach like 200 before they start burning. If you use olive oil has quite a lower flash point than vegetable oils. Butter's flash point is like down there because you put up a bit of butter in for your omelette, it burns in like 2 seconds, so you'd never be able to do chips in that. Lard's quite a high flash point. So I've got rapeseed oil. That's going in like a pan like that. I've got it in about that much oil, so I don't own a chip fat fryer. We don't really fry much stuff, if I'm honest. I probably need to try frying my PFC, my Pieman's fried chicken. I haven't done that yet. We've always done it in the oven, but maybe as I put some oil in there, I might do some tomorrow. So we're going to heat this oil to like 130ish, but like I say, I don't measure it, I haven't got a thing, but I just hold my hand over it, and you can feel the heat, and just pop that in, get a little bit of a sizzle. No sizzle going, so we just leave that another couple of minutes. It'll only take about 2 minutes, and then you want to get it in there, get it slightly sizzling, then turn the heat down, because this stage is nothing to do with browning your chips. This is like blanching them in oil, and we part cook them. So this is the second stage, hence this is, we've had one cook, now these are the double cooked chips, and then the next stage will be the triple cooked chips. And because I'll explain that in a second, I can feel that just starting to warm up now, so I think I'm going to be good to go with these. No, not yet. See what I'm doing, if you put that in, if you just get a little bit of a sizzle, obviously when you want to fry stuff properly, that's your proper sizzle. But that's not even sizzling a little bit, so I do need a little bit more. If you've got thermometers, where's my thermometer? Did have one today, did you put it away?
No, it might be in one of the drawers.
No, I had it out.
Oh, no, I didn't see it.
I have got a thermometer somewhere, but I'm not using it. But you can, just dip it in there and then get it to like 130 if you want to be totally professional about it. But the basic thing of this is you want to put it in there, you're not trying to colour it, and it needs to go in there and cook for 5 minutes without colouring. Right, I'm going to go for it now because I need to get them in. Right, so I'm just going to pop them chips in there like so. As you can see, we're not sizzling at all because we don't really want them sizzling. But I would actually say I'm probably still a bit low with the temperature there, but because I'm like trying to rush for everything, so that probably needed another 5 minutes. You should have a slight sizzle when you put them in, a slight little bubble, and then that would mean they're good. So now they're going in there, and basically we're gonna like part cook these without colouring them. They take about 5 minutes. And then you pat them off again and they go back in the freezer again and they get frozen for another 2-3 hours or overnight. But then when you get to that stage, if you can spend a couple of days doing it or a day doing it, do stage 1, freeze them all down, get them out, do the first fry, freeze them all down again, then you can just keep them in your freezer. Then they're ready to go then, because after that you're just doing the last cook. So you literally, once you've got them made up, if you've got a bit of time and you want to make them up, you can just keep them in the freezer and take them out whenever you want them. And then you've always got triple cooked chips. It's just the preparation beforehand, that's all. How's everybody's cakes doing?
Check the water.
If you want to check your water, just have a little peek. You should have a nice sort of brown looking top now, and you should be seeing it rising up above your tin.
Shot.
I mean, mine looks pretty good. What time are we on? So we've still got another sort of 25 minutes. Anybody got any questions you want to ask me? You want to fire any catering questions at me? Any things that you can't make? You want to know? Any, you know, can't promise I can answer everything because catering's like a wide variety of stuff. But I might be able to work out this stuff.
Mum's going to bed now.
Mum's going to bed. Good night, Mum. Anyway, I suppose why, mate, I can tell you how we do the pumpkin pie. So basically, you don't want the big kick-ass pumpkins. You want little ones, like so big, and they're the cooking ones. And what you're going to do is you'll cut it in half, de-seed it, wash the seeds off, keep them, because you can put them back in the oven on a bit of grease-proof paper, sprinkle some curry powder and some salt on them, and then bake them in the oven for like, rub a little bit of olive oil on them, not a lot, just rub them all over, rub the seasoning on or whatever seasoning you want, and then put them back in the oven. Do you know, I haven't done it for years, so I can't remember, probably 5-10 minutes, basically to the crisp, and you end up having like little curry crisps, or there's curry seeds, or you know, and then mix them with some peanuts, really nice. So you don't need to waste them. So cut your pumpkin in half, take your seeds out, wash them, do whatever you want to do with it, grab your other 2 pumpkins, turn them that way so that the flesh is down on the tray, pop a bit of water in a pan, in a roasting pan, and then pop them in the oven for about, I'd say between 30 to 50 minutes, depends on how big you are, so I can't be more exact, but you're basically going to bake them in the oven, and then the way to tell whether they're done is you will get a knife, push it in. If it slides straight in like a potato, if it feels like mashed potato in there, you're good. If it's a bit hard, keep it in there a bit longer. So then when they're done, you take them out, leave them on the side, give them sort of 10-15 minutes to cool down. Don't let them go cold because it makes it a bit harder, but let them cool down so you can handle them, and then basically get a spoon and just get all the flesh out, pop it in a processor, liquidize it up, put it in the fridge, and then that's our pumpkin mix for the pie. So we're all going to have to do that before, because we can't be doing that on a Saturday night. So that's got to be prepped up beforehand.
So you're going to do a live thing of that?
Yeah, so I will be putting a video up and I will be showing everybody how to do it. Alright, as you can see now, my chips are starting to, that's what we're looking for. Can we just see that little bubble? So as you can see there, they're just bubbling away. So we're going to give them a little bit longer. So they're not colouring, they're staying the same colour. And you get the little bubbles around there. We're not getting this furious frying bubble like you have with some chip pans. If you notice when people do them, it's really. But we don't want that, because we want to cook these. This is like the last cook. You're virtually finishing them off now, but without the colour. And then they're going to come out and be popped on and put in the freezer. Who's actually going to do this? Who's going to do triple cooked chips?
I reckon Mark James.
Let me
is
know.
interesting.
Am I wasting my time there? Because it is time consuming, but oh my word, when they
You're
come
gonna
out.
put it back up, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll put the recipe, I'll put the method back up for everybody so you don't have to watch it. Or message me, I'll send it over to you. But it is a bit of fanning around. But if you've got a nice bit of steak, trust me, it is worth it to have these. It's just something you can't do on the hoof. You've really got a plan doing them. See, this is where I miss little Josie. You see her come in with some whatever. And
Mark's going to give it a go, he said.
Mark's going to give it a go. Good man. I bet Mindy will give it a go. I've seen Mindy doing it.
Yeah. I don't know how he's doing. I did say if he wants a hand, give us a shout.
Are you alright, Mindy? You should have that in now.
Helen's going to give it a go. Woo!
Oh, you'll like them, Helen, because you can freeze them. Right up your street, these.
So are they healthier? Not really, are they?
No, 'cause
Still
deep
in
fried
the
chips.
oil, yeah. Oh,
They're-
Ian's going to do it.
They're not healthy chips, but they're just nice chips.
Ian's going to do it.
Ian's going to do it. Yeah. Good man.
What about Liz?
Liz going to do it. See that? I'll show you now. We can have a little look at. So if I pick one up, you can see he's cooking. Oh, dropped him. So trying to pick them up carefully because they are quite delicate. So you're not got much colour. He's got a slight bit of colour there. I'm just going to turn these around because I don't really want to colour them. So you're basically blanching them in the oil. But like I say, all this can be done 2, 3, 4 days in advance, so you don't have to mess around like this, and you just end up with the end product ready to go. So you could literally cook your steak. When your steak's nearly there, put your chip pan on, or make a mini chip pan like I've done here. Because the good thing about this, you're only cooking these in it, and then I can take them off. Use the oil and reuse it. Right, I'm going to take these out. Because they've had their like.
She's got no room in her freezer at the moment.
So
She
just
said, but she's finished the butter chicken and the Rogan Josh.
so gently take them out, shake off the excess oil. And what I would do normally would turn this oil pan off, but I'm going to let this carry on cooking because I've got the next stage of chips ready to go. So I'm going to let that oil heat up proper now to a nice haze on there so that I can put some triple cooked chips in, because like they do on telly, I've already got some ready.
Mary said, why the wiggly cheesecake?
Oh, you'll see that in a minute,
Yeah,
Mary,
it's
the wiggly
so funny.
cheesecake. The wiggly cheesecake comes when we take it out.
Yeah.
Right, so again, now pat these dry, get that oil, we don't want that on there, so just gently press them down. And then they go back in the freezer. And as they do on telly, we already have the next stage ready. So these ones have been, these are double cooked chips. So they've been boiled, frozen, they've been part fried, frozen, and now they're ready to go in the fryer proper. So I'm going to do these off because I'm hungry and I feel like a chip. So I'm letting that pan heat up proper now. Just break them apart. But this is the stage where you could have like a bag of chips in your freezer done. I know you can buy triple cooked chips out. It's better making your own. It's a bit more fun. And let's face it, everybody's got time. So we want this to heat up now. Now I want to feel the heat. This is how this is the chef part of me. I ain't going to test that. I just want to feel that heat. And I can keep my hand there so it's not hot enough yet. So we're just leaving that on nice and full. I have the frozen chips there ready to go. I have a shed load of chips out there to go in my freezer now, don't I? 'Cause I've got chips everywhere.
Oh, Lee Gilbert. He said it's been a while. Hello all. Hope you're all well.
Oh, yeah, Lee, mate. How you doing? Yeah, it has been a while. Been a while for gigs and everything, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's not good times out there for you guys, I must admit. Hopefully you're alright and the baby's okay. Still not hot enough.
Does he know what you're baking?
Did you know what we're baking, Lee? Wiggly jiggly cheesecake.
Japanese.
Japanese. Hence why I'm drinking sake. Lemon infused. And it's really nice.
It is nice.
Yeah, it's like a sweet white wine, isn't it?
Mm.
Right, impressed with that. I'll get that again.
Mm.
Right, time wise,
Yeah,
I've got
absolutely.
15 minutes to go before I can take my wiggly jiggly cheesecake out. Then I can show you how we do it. Right, I'm going to get these chips in now, I think. No, a little bit longer. So if I time this right, I can get some chips going. I can go and get my sauce. I can do a little bit of feathering. Show you on a plate how you do that with the sauce, and then you can cut a slice, etc, etc. And then we should be done. I'll tip mine out. I'll wait for you to all tip yours out, and then we should be good to go. So hopefully by 8 o'clock everybody's eating wiggly jiggly cheesecake. And you've learned how to make triple cooked chips. Does anybody have any questions they wanted to ask me? Just realised I haven't made a piping bag. Does anybody know how to make piping bags? Take an oblong piece of paper. Triangle it up, but leave a little bit there.
Lee's been doing loads of fishing.
Loads of fishing.
Should have said.
So we have a triangle bit there. Well, actually, my fat's going. I need to put the chips in. Let's show you that part. Right, this is what you should be looking for. Can you hear that straight away? Sizzle, sizzle. See, now there's a different sound now to before. Straight away. And if you're putting stuff in the chip fryer, like put it away from you like that, so it splashes that way, and you don't burn your hands. Right, so hopefully everybody can see the difference between the two chip pat fryers. The first one was a very gentle, few bubbles, just blanching them. Now we've let it carry on with a bit of heat. We've turned it out to a proper fryer now. As you can see, you can hear it, you can see that sizzling. That's what we're looking for. And they'll probably take about 6-7 minutes. So we'll come back to them in a second. Back to my paper. So you have that triangle. Then you take your hand like that. Oh, this is really hard. Watching this and doing this is like totally back to front for me. So you pop your hand there like that, put your thumb around it, and you make like a cone. Turn it. Oh, I cut it properly. You can see we got a makeshift piping bag. Let's get that a bit tighter, and I'm going to pipe the yogurt into into my sauce. My chips are browning already, which is a good sign.
Lee's got a top tip for you.
Top tip, Lee. Where you go, son?
Hot pasta bacon tip for you. To get the best taste out of your cheesecake, you have to give us a wiggle.
Ah. Right, that didn't work because I had a cut in it. See that? See, I've got a little room in there in the way. So we can do it this way. Oh! Scissors. Oh, there we go. Be able to do it now. Now I've got a straight edge. That's because I cut it with a knife, so you didn't use scissors, try and save time. Then you pop that around like that. You do that bit up there. Fold that over. This is great for chocolate. And then you've got like a little piping bag, great for delicate work if you want to pipe chocolate out. If you saw us do our chocolate things, I'm pretty sure I did show people how to make these bags. Yeah. So I'm going to put a bit of natural yogurt in that, and I'm going to put it around my strawberry sauce. Right, let's show you the chips. See, look at them straight on, look at them going there. Give them a bit of a turn.
Helen said, do you like eggs with your triple cooked chips?
Yes, I love eggs with my triple cooked chips, and I will have a shot with it as well. So look at them, they're literally nearly there. A bit of paper in there so we can take them out in a second. They're about, see how quick was that now? They were what? 4 minutes, 5 minutes in there? I'm going to get them nice and crispy. So once you get stages 1 and 2 done, you can have a freezer full of them bad boys just to come out just like that. But you've got to do it in small batches. You can't do huge pans, they will just break up. But it is worth it. I need a shot, do I?
You need a shot. Mary still wants to know what inspired the cheesecake.
What inspired the cheesecake? I just kept seeing it.
Yeah.
I want to do the mirror cake.
Oh yeah. It was
I've seen.
Japanese.
Yeah, it was Japanese cheesecake or mirror cake. It's a mirror cake where you get a load of gelatine, like icing, and you pour about 3 colours on, and it swells around. And I've never done one of them, so I want to do one of them. Cheers, everyone.
If you see the Japanese, it's amazing, isn't it, when it comes out?
When we tip it out in a minute, it's going to be fun. Right.
This is Janani.
Oh, Gin Annie on here, Helen. Listen to a bit of Gin Annie. We get to see them today, or hear them. I have to rush off with you. Right, my chips are done. I'll show you now. I'll turn this just. Now you've got to be a bit careful here because they are hot oil, etc., etc. So take a little bowl, bit of kitchen paper in there, just catch the oil. Shake them off. Look at the colour on them. They cooked so quick, considering how long they take to make. But you end up with fluffy potatoes inside, you end up with crunchy on the outside. Now you can see why we cut them like big, you don't do sort of thin chips, because you just end up with nothing inside. Right, let's turn that off.
Beverly's got 3 in her living room watching, so she's got Charlie, her daughter Louise, and herself. They're all on their own devices.
Bit of salt. Look at them. I'm going to let them cool down, and then I'm going to snap it so you can hear the crunch in a second. But I can't eat them yet because they're too hot. Right, what are we on time, my darling? Right, I've got 10 minutes to go till my cheesecake. I'm going to have a little peek. Anybody else want to have a little peek? Go and have a little peek, have a little look. Because he's kind of cooking now. Oh, mine's that much higher than tin. Banging. What I would say is, let's get up. Oh, it's a long way down. What I would say is, we need a bit of space in a minute because you've got to get your tray out. Then you need a plate to put it on, and then we've got to tip them out like that while they're hot, and you've got to hold it in your hand, and it wiggles away, and you've got to peel the paper off, and then we've got to put it back. So you're going to need a hand, a plate, and space. Right, so if I've got 10 minutes, I can quickly show you the fancy feathering for using to pretty up your cheesecake. If you want to impress someone, that is. So you want a bit of natural yogurt, pop it in said piping bag, You can't pop this in too early because it makes your piping bag go running after 2 or 3 minutes. Right, you want a hole. Look, if you can see that, I'll just do it into my hand for a second, so you can see I've got a little hole in the bottom, and that's what gives you your thing. So I'm just going to wash my hands. 2
Mark
seconds.
said it's grown by 5 inches.
Lucky you, Mark. Lucky you. There's a lot of euphemisms in this this wiggly jiggly cheesecake, isn't there? Right, we've got a cocktail stick anywhere, look.
Yeah.
Right, so the only way that this works when you're doing ferrying, you really do need a nice white plate. So you take some of your Kool-Aid. This is why you want it nice and smooth.
Okay. This is spiders.
Riders Creed. There you go, Lee. You're on. If you're still listening, you're on. So I'm just gonna move that around the plate like that. As you can see, I've got that nice sauce now, so that's gonna, when we put the cheesecake on, so you get that there. I would probably do the whole plate, but I haven't got enough sauce. I'm just gonna go with that, and I'm just gonna show you. So on your plate, with your piping bag, and you want to do a circle, start from the middle and work your way out till it gets bigger.
Gonna raise the roof.
And then hopefully the bag doesn't burst like it's just done on mine and all gone out. Something had to go wrong. It's going too perfect, wasn't it? So if you look there, you've done that. Ignore that bit. That shouldn't be there. So just forget that bit's there. So now we got that. So then you take a cocktail stick. You start from the middle, and you work your way like that. And then if you do again, that way there. You can leave it like that, or you can be even fancier and then bring it all the way up. I mean, this is what you get in all these restaurants you go to, isn't it? So then you end up with a nice,
Halloween decoration.
if you can see that, it's like a cobwebby effect. Now, if that wasn't on there, now you could put your slice of wiggly cheesecake there, so we could do a half, and do a half of one of them. Obviously, I've not got the cheesecake on there yet, so I've just showing you the ideas at the moment. But what I would have done was put half a cheesecake there. I would have dusted it with some icing sugar. I would have put some whole fruits on there. I would have had my sauce down there, and I would have done a half web down that side of the page, because we ain't going to see that size. We don't need it. And then there you are. Then you've got a restaurant quality sweet, and it's not that hard, was it? But I'll keep that. My cheesecake's just going to go whop on there anyway. So.
How long have you got on your cooking?
Right. So now you know how to feather. Now you know how to make triple good chips. Now you've done coulis. Now it's all up to you whether you want to fancy it up and take it all the way. I have 5 minutes left.
Have a chip.
Right. See, she's sat there on the end. Oh look, there's all my washing up. It's a mess. See? You can't hear how crunchy.
That's so good.
They're amazing. Let's see if I can hear. Where's the mic? I don't even know where the microphone is. See if I can hear a crunch. Did you hear that? There's a crunch there.
Oh, they're really good.
There you go. They are stunning. Proper good chips. And the only thing I would say is I could have actually left them in another 2 minutes. and it would have made them even crispier. But I mean, I don't know, hopefully you heard that crunch, but they are like, oh. Yeah, you had a nice sirloin steak on the side there from a decent butcher's. Which one's that one? It's lucky I've got loads there, isn't it? Right. Oh, it's hot, that one.
The potato is so fluffy, isn't it?
Yeah. The potato's fluffy. The outside is crunchy. That's why you cut the potatoes thick. So it looks thick for a chip, but because it gets that shed loads of cooking in there, it needs to be a thick potato to make it work.
Well, Damon said making him hungry, he's going to have to...
You're going to have to make them chips. I tell you, it is worth it. Trust me, it's worth
Mark
it.
James said he could hear the crunch.
Once you get them going, and then, like I say, you have to just think about it a couple of days before, that's all. You just can't do it there and then. Well, I'm really excited now. I want to take my cheesecake down. I'm going to give it the other 2 minutes.
Do I need to turn the thing when you're...
My water actually ran out, so I probably should have put a little bit more water in.
What would happen there?
Because last time I did it, I used a thicker tray, so I had more water. This time, it won't. It should be alright. Right, so preparation for taking it out. You want a plate to put it on. You want a reasonable bit of space to pop your cake down, so make sure you've got, you know, a nice area to do it. So pop it there. We're going to tip the cake out into your hand, take the tin out, you're going to peel the paper off. Whilst it's in your hand and it's wiggling away, you pop the plate on top and then we turn it over. And then you wiggle. And then we have a cheesecake. And I also need a bit of ice and sugar, so the wife's going to have to wash the sieve up for me, please. And this can be eaten hot as well, or warm. They say leave it about 5 minutes, let it cool down, and cut a slice out. It is like, if you could imagine, if the clouds were puddings,
Yeah, it's floaty, isn't it?
it's like eating a cloud.
It's
if-
light,
yeah,
isn't it?
right.
Yeah.
Everybody's seen Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory. If Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory made clouds, this is what they would taste like. That is about the best analogy I can come up with. I'm getting excited.
It literally tastes non-fattening as well.
Yeah, it tastes like it's healthy. Right, I'm taking mine out and going in. On first inspections, I would say my oven was slightly too hot. As again I said, I had a rubbish oven, so I got a bit more of a crispier top than the last time. But if I show you there, see there's my cake. That is where he's up to. He's up to about there. So you can see he's come up there. So we're going to let that cool down for about a minute. So if everybody else wants to check theirs, I probably could have gone with taking mine out maybe a couple of minutes earlier, I think, looking at it, but it ain't going to be too much of a problem. I mean, that's just, you know, that's just me being my chefy side still in me. I'm always like picking faults and stuff. So yeah, I definitely would have probably put a little bit more water in there, and I would definitely have given it a little bit less. But I think my oven, even I said it because I've got a dial on my oven, is a turn dial. So trying to find 160 is really hard. You're kind of guessing because it goes 50, 75, 100, it goes up in 25s. So you're just purely guessing.
Helen said she's only got little hands.
You got a little hand, well, that doesn't matter. When you tip it out, I tell you, and everybody, right, don't panic. I'll do it first, so you can see it happening. You sit and you think it's just going to go around your hand. It doesn't, it just stays there. It's really, really weird. But as long as you hold your hand and then hold it out. What's that?
I don't know.
It's a sign of bang now. As long as you hold your hand out like that, so you're covering the circumference of the cake. Don't hold it like this, because then you know, hold it like that. If you really, really are worried about it, do it with 2 plates. But this is the fun way. This is the better way. This is how the professionals do it. Not that I'm a professional making this, but when I watch the professionals making it, they literally
Should I
are
just video this in case for £250?
No, well, it's not here now. We can clip it. If I drop it, we can clip it. But yeah, if you really don't want to put it into your hands, or you're a little bit nervous, get yourself 2 plates. So you will pop your plate up. What I'll do is I'll show you how to do a 2-plate one first, but I won't do it. I'll give you it how we get on and do it. But the only thing is, what they did say with the 2-plate one, you might just squash the bottom at the top of it a bit. You might just get a little bit of a flatter sort of thing to it. Right, so here goes. So everybody, if you've got a bit of water in there, be careful. Don't go and get water on your thing. I mean, if you can take it out first, get rid of the water tray. That would be a good idea. So you're not going to splash yourself with hot water. Right, so now I've got my hands on there, you know, using what do you call it? Right, so if you're plating it, you're going to pop that on there like that, turn it over so it's upside down. You'll peel all the stuff off, take the tray, obviously the tray's going to come away, peel all the stuff off, pop a plate back on top and then flip it back round. Okay, and then you'll end up with it the right way up. But if you want to chance it like me, the problem is when you're tipping it like that with a plate, it's a bit hard with that overflow of paper because that's going to sit there and you're going to have to mess around with that. But the beauty of doing it with your hand weight, you can just pop your hand in there, like so. So don't be scared, it's not that hot. There you go. So there's mine out. I'm out on my hand. I'm going to take that paper off there, ditch that. I'm taking that paper off there. I'm ditching that. I'm taking that paper off there. I'm ditching that, and I have a wobbly cheesecake. Now I shall pop my plate back on. Voila! And now everybody should be jiggling that.
It either, are you?
Nah, everybody should be jiggling it. You just give it a little thing, and it's just literally moving away. You see it? If you just it's like jelly. And you feel there, look, if I poke that, it just goes in. It is weird. Right, so hopefully everybody's at that stage and you've got this lovely looking cake. When you're into Japan, they have like little, you know, like when you get a cow and you go, that's my cow, and you stab some thing on it and you like distinguish whose it is. They do that there. Apparently the bakers, they have their own like hot poker. So they cover the icing sugar, sprinkle loads of icing sugar on it, and then they stamp it with their like stamp with like a red hot thing, and it like seals it in the top. But we haven't got that. So that's out. So everybody else, that's up to you now. You need to go and do that. I'm not sure what your times are when they're coming out, but you can't be that far behind me.
I think Paul Damon was about the same time as you.
So Paul Damon, perhaps you've got yours out. Right, so a little bit of icing sugar. Gonna pop that into me sieve. Getting that right mess here now. Nice and tidy earlier on. It's proper messed up. So I've got a little bit of icing sugar in my sieve.
Paul's about 7 minutes away.
7 minutes away. Right, I'm passing away there. Pop it, there you go. Now get your sieve, put some ice and sugar in, and then we're just going to tap that over the top. You can go pretty liberal with this.
It does look like a hat.
Don't worry if you get cracks on it. First one I done, I had a massive crack down one side. This one I got a few cracks across the top. It literally doesn't. I don't, you know, it doesn't make.
We actually need videos of everyone actually.
Yeah, if you want a video, you're tipping it out. People get your other halves. Video you're turning them out. See if we have any mishaps. So there, you've got that now. So that's your cake. Now you could just put a few strawberries on the top. And that's how they serve it up in Japan. But now you can see why I think we need the sauce with it. So I'm going to cut a warm piece now. I should probably leave it a little bit, but I'm just going to cut it so everybody can see. see that?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to cut down there like that. It's almost like a bread. I don't know. It is amazing. It's so weird. Enjoy the wiggly part though. Give it a good wiggle. Play around with it. They always tell you not to play around with your food, but I think this is one food you can. Look at that.
It's so light though, isn't it? It's still jiggling.
Still jiggling.
It does look good.
See now. Right. Oh, I've got
Blueberries.
I've got blackberries. I think I forgot I had them. I didn't use them. There you go. So now, imagine that. A little mint leaf on there. You'd pay for that in a restaurant. Right, I'm going to give it to the wife. You want it?
Yes, please.
Right, taste test. I'll try and get all the rubbish out of the way.
Don't stand on it.
Right, what's the facial reactions?
Wow.
How good is that?
Wow.
Now with the sauce as well.
So good.
And that's it.
Wow.
That is it. You literally go straight ahead now. Get yours out of the oven. Eat it now. Don't save it. To be fair, it does actually save cold. And if you do like it warm, just pop it in the microwave for about
nice cold.
3-4 seconds. But it actually was all right cold. But that. So I'll show you the insides now. So it's kind of like sponge, but it's not
Actually,
sponge.
do you know custard would be nice on there?
There you go, custard.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm hoping to see pictures. Remember, if you've done it, pop a picture up. Everybody's going to go in the drawer, and whoever gets pulled out of the hat wins a free t-shirt. I need to have a slice. I don't know what to eat first, though. My crispy chips.
I know, I was like, should I finish
Or my
with the
cake.
chips? But then you gave me this, so I was like...
On chips, mate. Right, I'm going to hold on here for 5 minutes, so everybody can catch up. Don't want to leave yet in case we've got any mistakes.
That's so good.
But next time you got friends around, you can do this. Next time you got friends, Christ bloody COVID, and ruined all that, isn't it? Anyway,
Next time you got your bubble round.
next time you're having a proper meal with somebody, the first meal you're going to do, you're going to invite people around.
They're going to go bloody hell.
Doing this cheesecake. If you time it right, you can have it coming out, because you saw how easy it was to make and how much time I've been stood here waffling, trying to like fill time and etc. You could easily have done your meals and then have that for pudding. Literally, you could take it in there, turn it out, wobble it around, put the sauce with it and then serve it up warm like that. They would love you. Especially doing triple good chips as well. Right.
I actually think that'd be nice with maple syrup and bacon. Like the sweet with the...
Right, so I'm done. I'm going to hold on here. So if you can like shout in, let us know how you're getting on, whether it's coming out, and then cut them up. Hopefully your sauces are good as well.
Send me pictures for all your videos.
Don't forget to send your pictures through.
It's still wobbly.
Yeah. Can't miss his chips though.
No.
She's going from chips to cheesecake to chips.
Look, James says I'm done.
Is yours out, James?
James, you keep calling him.
Don't call him James, eh? Mark. How rude. We'll finish on a bit of wagons, didn't we? Headdress. Actually, wait there 2 seconds.
It's got to be a hoodie.
So yesterday, as a little surprise for Massive Wagons, I received this through the post. It's a hoodie. It's a Massive Wagons hoodie. What's that there? But also, they personalised it for me. They sent it to the head chef. How cool is that? I was so stoked with that. It was amazing. So I'd like to thank Wagons, Terry, Heidi, Josie. Love you all. Right, so she's gone and ditched me now. So actually, I can read the questions. I didn't know that. There's questions coming up on the side of my thing. I know. Mum's gone to bed. Right, if anybody wants to... Oh, here we go. I can read the questions. That's awesome. You like it, Liz? It was good, wasn't it? This is cool. Yeah. I'm done. Right, are we getting... Anybody turning stuff out? As soon as everybody's gotten tipped out, I'm going. 10 to 8 now. But I just want to make sure you're all covered. Who have we got? We've got Paul Damon, not hearing from you. Oh, you've got 7 minutes, so haven't you?
Mark said it tastes lovely.
Mark's had it out, has he? You like it, yeah?
Mary said let's dance a bit now.
We'll wiggle it around and dance with it. Send us a video. Send this to Josie. Did everybody get a wiggle? See, I'm getting a wiggle. I've got a little bit of a clapsation there, not a lot. It's just because it's so light.
Mark James said it tastes lovely.
I'm just about the how. I haven't tried it yet, so I'm just going to try it.
It's really good. Ian Corbin said eat hot or cold, both.
Both. Have some now hot. Cut it open, eat it, enjoy it. It's better hot, but you can do cold.
Because you mic it, don't you, Mark?
Yeah, you can mic it for like 10
I
seconds.
actually had a bit cold though, and it was alright.
Yeah. Right, so here goes. The strawberry sauce, which I never had the first time we made it.
Liz is going now. She said keep safe, people. Happy
See you later, Liz.
weekend.
That's so good with the sauce. Such an unusual texture and taste. Does everybody, whoever's tasting it, do you see what I mean about it could probably be a cloud? Or am I just being stupid? Who are we waiting for to turn them out? So we must have Paul Damon.
Yeah, Paul Damon and David Landmaid. Mary.
You turned yours out yet, Mary? But it's not overpowering and sweet. It's kind
It's
of
really light, isn't
yeah.
it? Eggy light. I don't know what it reminds me of. It feels healthy.
Yeah.
Especially when you have fruit with it as well.
Feels healthy. All right.
Mary said delish. Thanks, pie team.
Love you, Mary. Right, so are we done? Can I go and finish this now? Is everybody good? If you're not good, shout now and I'll hold on for you, no
Still
problem.
15 people.
If you need me to hold on, no problem. I can just eat this in front of you.
Because I think some people might be a little bit behind.
Yeah, do you want me to hold on?
Who else was cooking? Helen said mine's out.
Have you tipped it out yet, Helen? No? I'd like a video of that one, seeing you do that.
How's she going to do? Oh, yes. Mark said yeah, cheers.
See you later, Mark.
I wonder how Mindy's doing.
you actually eat it and it just doesn't fill you up. You feel like you just want another piece straight away. Is that good or bad? I don't know. It's good as in the flavour of it. But it's all air. So
It's really
it's
light.
got to be dietary, surely. How much sugar do we put in there? We had 130 grams of sugar in it, in a big cake.
And we've got egg whites, which is supposed to
Egg
be...
whites are healthy, yolks
Yeah.
are good for you. To be fair, it probably is a very
Simon
good...
Murray's back with us. Paul Damon, his is out.
Paul Damon, tip him out. You got him tipped out?
Helen said, yeah, right, only just about have enough hands to turn out, let alone video.
Set a video on the side, you can do it. Sark has gone down. Right, so I reckon everybody must be good now. It's good when you actually get something to eat straight away as well. You don't have to wait for it.
Head chips first.
Right, I think we're probably done here now. I would imagine you're all
Sam said
good.
just gone in.
Just gone in. Well, you know what to do when it comes out, because I'm not waiting another hour and a half for you,
Have you
Simon.
talked about the 20 minutes and
Right, Simon, Mr. Murray. 20 minutes at 160, turn it down to 140, 55 minutes. Make sure your water's topped up. Don't open your oven door too early to check the water. Give it a good half an hour to go through. You want, or if it's gone in, you've got the water in already, haven't you? And then when it comes out, literally take it out of the hot water tray and then just tip it straight onto your hand. You've just seen me do it. A piece of cake, you can master that. If you can't, double do the plates. Do you want to come say goodbye?
yeah, Ian said it tastes lovely.
Magic. Especially with that pork sauce, I would imagine. Right, I'm just going to give you a little cheers, goodbye.
Can we toast
thoroughly
Simon
enjoyed it.
again?
Yep. This one was for Simon.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everyone.
You knocked yours back.
Bye-bye.